So here is a question. Let's match the following question. Okay. So as you can see, list 1 is about different yojanas, schemes, and list 2 is the concepts or objectives related to those schemes. Okay. So to start with, the first one is Bharat Nirman Yojana. So Bharat Nirman Yojana, so Bharat Nirman yani ki you can understand it is about your infrastructure, right? तो अगर हम ऑप्शंस में देखें लिस्ट में तो यहाँ पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का है रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. तो ए का जो है 4 के साथ वी कैन मैच इट. सो ए विल बी रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. नेक्स्ट वन इज National Food for Work Program. Okay. Now, National Food for Work Program is one of the programs merged under SGRY. So, B and 3. Next one is Indra Awas Yojana. Yeah, Indra Awas Yojana, it is talking about housing. So, number 1 is rural housing, and so this is linked with Indra Awas Yojana. And the last one is Citra. Okay, supply of improved tool kits to rural artisans. Citra is now merged under SGSY. Yes. So to conclude, A with 4, B with 3, C with 1, and D with 2. So our option is 4, 3, 1, 2, that is A. So the answer is 4, 3, 1, 2. Right? Okay. Now, moving on to the next question. So as you can see, the next question is about LM curve, right? Yes. So here now, LM curve, shift in LM curve. First, let's talk about the concepts of ISLM. To start with, IS curve. Now, IS curve basically talks about commodity market equilibrium. Means any point on IS curve implies that your commodity market is in equilibrium. Means demand is equal to supply for goods and commodity. Any points of the IS curve, right, on the right side or left side means disequilibrium. And what should be done to bring it in equilibrium? Now, what are the parameters to define IS curve? They are your consumption, investment, and government expenditure. And when we talk about LM curve, so that means the money market equilibrium. Demand for money is equals to supply for money, and the components are MS and MD. So anything related to LM curve has to do with demand and supply for money. Okay. Now, shift in LM curve, that means LM curve is not going to be affected by autonomous investment, consumption, savings rate, but definitely money supply. How? So, right? Now, here I have Y and here I have rate of interest. Now, this is my LM curve, right? Now, in this case, suppose my price level in the economy is constant and Y is not changing, but my money supply has increased, right? So, in that scenario, what will happen? Suppose initially, this is your equilibrium, output, and rate of interest. Now, as your income is same, it is not changing, but your money supply has increased. So you will be off the LM curve, disequilibrium. But to make that means somewhere here. So to maintain the equilibrium at the same, what will happen is the rate of interest will fall and your LM curve will shift to the right. So that means if money supply increases, the LM curve shifts to the right. So shift in LM curve is placed due to increase in money supply. So the answer is B. Now, next question. Next question is about Phillips curve. Now, Phillips curve, in order to understand the concept of Phillips curve, let's go back to the aggregate supply, right? So what is the relation? How is this Phillips curve relation actually placed? Okay, so begin with here. Now, aggregate supply, according to the aggregate supply, as price level increases, your output level increases, right? So when price level increases, this implies inflation and increase in Y implies what? Production, thus increase in employment. So inflation increases, employment increases, which means unemployment decreases. So here we get a negative relation between inflation rate and unemployment rate. That is, as there is inflation, unemployment decreases. So from here, I can mark my answer as the following. That is, income and consumption, no. Income and price level, no. Income and investment, definitely not. So the Phillips curve shows the relation between inflation and unemployment, as discussed here. Okay. Next question. Next question here for you is about cost incurred by a firm. So let's read the question carefully here. The question says that the cost incurred by a firm in hiring labor is called. So here we are talking about wage rate basically, okay? So what type of cost is this wage rate? Okay, so to understand this, suppose we will go through these options one by one. So first one is about explicit cost. So what is explicit cost here? So explicit cost means cost straight out of pocket. That is basically the direct cost of production faced by any firm, direct. Okay. And if we talk about implicit cost, so what is implicit cost? Implicit cost is basically opportunity cost. That means if you choose A, then the cost of giving up B in order to use A. So that is the opportunity cost. Marginal cost is, you know all that it is change in total cost due to change in production. And finally, total cost, if it is short run, then it is your total variable cost plus total fixed cost. So only cost of labor will not comprise this total cost. So definitely D and C is not the right answer. B is talking about opportunity cost, and it has got nothing to do with hiring labor, as hiring labor and giving them wages is a direct cost incurred by the firm. So B is definitely not the right answer, and the direct cost means explicit cost. So yes, A is our right answer. Right. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is about the relation between money supply in classical theory with the price level. So if money supply increases, then definitely there will be increase in price level. So there is this direct proportional relation between money supply and price level. Next question. So this is about demand for labor by a firm, okay? Derived demand. So now let's try to understand the concept of derived demand. What is derived demand? Anyone? Think. So derived demand means a demand that is derived. Okay, so demand for labor is said to be derived from the demand for final goods and services. What is the meaning here? मान लीजिए मार्केट में कोई एक प्रोडक्ट है जिसका डिमांड बढ़ गया है, तो उस डिमांड को मीट करने के लिए क्या होगा, जो प्रोड्यूसर्स भी एनकरेज होंगे कि ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करना है. अब ज्यादा अगर प्रोड्यूस करना होगा सो मुझे इनपुट्स चाहिए, जैसे कि लेबर चाहिए. इसका मतलब ऑटोमेटिकली लेबर का डिमांड भी बढ़ जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे जो इनपुट का डिमांड है, जैसे कि लेबर का डिमांड है, ये हमें कहाँ से मिला? जो प्रोडक्ट है उसका डिमांड से मिल रहा है, सो वी आर डिराइविंग द डिमांड फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर इनपुट फ्रॉम द डिमांड फॉर द फाइनल गुड अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट। तो यानी कि अगर हम लोग अपना ऑप्शन से यहाँ पे देखें तो पहला है डिमांड फॉर गुड एंड सर्विसेज दैट लेबर हेल्प्स टू प्रोड्यूस, दूसरा है डिग्री ऑफ सब्सटीट्यूशन between labor and other factors, elasticity of demand for labor and the demand for other factors of production. So इनमें से B भी नहीं होगा, C भी नहीं होगा, D भी नहीं होगा, आंसर है A, क्योंकि यहाँ पे बोला गया है कि जो गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज यानी कि फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज जो मार्केट में है उसका जो डिमांड है रिलेटेड टू द लेबर, क्योंकि लेबर अगर वो बनाना है तो मुझे लेबर चाहिए, तो अगर उस प्रोडक्ट का इंक्रीज होगा डिमांड तो लेबर का भी डिमांड इंक्रीज होगा, तो वहां से डिमांड फॉर लेबर विल बी डिराइव एंड हेंस द नेम डिराइव डिमांड. So yes, our option A is the correct answer. Okay. Next one. Next question is about the law of diminishing returns to scale. Now in this question you have to note that here it is returns to scale. It is not talking about factor, right? It's not talking about factor. अगर एक factor की बात करें तो short run होगा, लेकिन scale की बात करें तो long run होगा, यानी कि हम यहाँ पे DRS की बात कर रहे हैं तो ये basically long run period में ही होता है. So answer is C. And the last question for this video for all of you is on natural rate of unemployment. तो ये जो natural rate of unemployment है इसका क्या definition है कि rate of unemployment at which the rate of inflation is stable. So yes, for this question your answer is A, stable.